Knowing it's not far, so won't you join me in my happy hour? It's sooner later, some stress around. I'll listen while you speak. I won't be beside. Trouble on me, work it out. We will be carefree by the time one release be free. No matter, am I on my happy hour? Am I on my happy hour? Oh yeah. Hey, am I on my happy hour? Oh yeah. Trouble on me, work it out. We will be carefree by the time one release be free. Together, let's talk about it. I'm Lester, baby. Am I on my happy hour? Yes, y'all. To the show, y'all. It's your main man, Andy Brown, the host. Might not have the most, but I'm here. I'm ready to rock and roll, and I am ready to tune in and drop some good flavor on tonight's particular broadcast. Welcome to the Online Happy Hour. And it's going to be another wonderful broadcast right here tonight. It is Thursday, October 22nd, 2020, year of vision, the year of COVID, the year of concerns, and the work from home pandemic which we are living in right now. So thank you all for making time. The presidential debate is on. NFL football games are on. Children are getting, their schoolwork done. But you've made time for this tonight, and I'm not going to waste your time. We're going to have some fun and get it on in, man. Shout out to all the folks who are still wearing dirty masks and not cleaning their masks before they wear them. I think that is disgusting. You should wash that mask and clean it. If you choose to wear it more than twice, it's just gross to do that. So please wash your mask, wash your ass, and that's the whole point of this whole thing, man. Just be clean, right? Develop clean living habits. And some people just have not decided to do that for whatever reason, but take advantage of the opportune time to just stay clean, stay fresh, wash your ass, wash your mask, wash your hands, and just have a good, healthy lifestyle of living. It's encouraged. What else do you have to do? Just sit around and just make sure that you're clean. So please do that. Please know that your comments are welcome. I got the phone lines open tonight, 847-474-5433. Again, 847-47-iLife is the call-in number. Hit me up. Let's talk about some things. I'll be listening to you. We'll be learning together, and we're going to share some good game and information. You're going to be able to find me right here on this platform each and every Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, each and every Tuesday and Thursday. Yes, twice a week. So the cool thing about what we're doing with the internet, if you paid your phone bill and you have the means to be online wherever you are, no longer is the old school mind thinking of, man, I got to wait till I get home to catch this show, because we're streaming on multiple platforms. Again, if you paid your phone bill and you can log in from anywhere, the opportunity to chime in, to be available is right here, and we're going to have some fun with it. So please be able to follow me on multiple platforms. You can catch me on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and even YouTube. Follow your boy at Andy Brown Speaks. That is what I do. That is where I am. That's where I live in this social world. So I'm available, man. Again, we have to be able to change our mindset, get away from the small thinking to say, I'll wait till I get home and get settled to watch it. You don't do that now. So change your mindset, man. Be available. Be ready. The platform is here to discuss. I've got something good poured up today. I've got some good water over here as well. And we're going to dive into some wonderful discussions to have this. So if you've got a business out there and you want a business platform, We've got some information available for you ready here to talk about that and let people discuss what you're doing. And as we discuss, let me go ahead and put the disclaimer out there because people need to know this. Each and every week we have a great show, but it may not be something that you're going to always agree with. What it is going to happen is people are going to voice their opinions, and they have the right to do that, and they're welcome on here for that. So the thoughts and ideas displayed on the online happy hour do not reflect those who are labeled on multiple facets of forms of social media platforms. But what it does reflect are those who are willing to come on this show and talk about things that matter most to them, matter most to our society, that affect our community, and can increase our way of living. Any way possible, the best way possible, the right way possible for improved change of conditions. And tonight's topic is not going to be any different because we're going to discuss something that makes sense to everybody here. I may touch some feelings, I may hurt some emotions, but damn it, so what? You kind of need to hear this. Get away from the Disney fluff, get away from the crime scene and the murders of television, and let's go and kick off into some real and talk about trust issues. Who has them and why? Yeah, man, I've seen it. This social platform that we have allows that pathway to be opened up, and folks will be so transparent on their platforms. Others are going to lie about what they do with their day-to-day activity, but they're hiding so much. They have trust issues. We all have trust issues with ourselves, with our family, with our working environment, with our friends, and yes, even our significant others. So we're going to dive into the reasons about these trust issues, man, because it's a real damn thing out there. So pour you up a drink, man. Again, the phone lines, 847-47-ILIFE. Hit some love, hit some likes. Let's talk about this, man, because this is some real shit. If you yourself are dealing with some trust issues, man, I'm going to talk about some of the reasons why. And you're going to be able to relate to some of these things. And so you're going to be able to see some of the things that are not so relative to you per se, but that other people are dealing with also. So when we talk about those trust issues, I mentioned about money. I mentioned about friends and family relationships. I mentioned about the workplace. But we can really dive off into some of those things and get us there to see what that entails. So if we're looking at trust issues as a whole, what I said was earlier was why? Why do people have trust issues? Right? So the main thing that you look for is if there's been some hurt along the way, man. The main thing people feel issues with trust is they feel a level of betrayal, right? You can't trust somebody because they've hurt you. They made you feel bad in a certain way. So you automatically assume that they're going to hurt you again and betray your level of trust. Why? Why do we automatically jump there? And here's the thing. I made this statement before. If you follow me on my social platforms, I asked this question to the public audience, and I asked, what has better energy? Positivity or negativity? And of course, you're going to get all the fluff, and people are going to say, "Oh, of course. Well, positive energy is always going to outweigh negative energy. We always want to think positive, and we always want to be positive in how we're thinking, how we're living." That, ma'am, sir, is false. Even scientifically proven, negative energy is far stronger than positive energy. Some folks, you just weren't paying attention in elementary school, and it shows. It's good to say the right thing, but the answer is freaking wrong. Look at that. If you have magnets on your refrigerator because you're proud of what your baby did in school, and you got little pictures up of their third grade spelling bee and grades that they have and the colors and the crayons and all that stuff, take two magnets and stick them on the back of together and try to make that force and that connection. You yourself are going to feel how that struggle is going to be right there. So that negative energy is going to push and it can't even stay together. Right? You've seen this before. I hope you have. Well, some people haven't, and we just can't assume that everybody has the same level of education. Shout out to Egan Zola saying we live in duality and we have both, and we need both to balance, both positive and negative energy, which is true. The thing is, we're utilizing so much of both of those that we don't know which one to put our energy in for levels of trust that it's going to actually do what it said it's going to do. Again, we felt betrayal. There are people out there that feel as if I can't do this thing because that same issue that happened before already happened, and they feel as if it's not going to be able to happen anymore, right? You felt betrayed, you felt hurt, and you feel as if you try to say something again or do something again, it's not going to happen. I can liken it into your workplace. Trust issues. Who has them? Your coworkers have them, right? You can fire into somebody at work about the way you all were feeling about a certain topic, or not very confident in the change in the work plan. They may have shortened your work hours or said that everybody has to go to lunch at a certain time and you have to regulate you clocking in and out. It happens, right? And somebody next to you in your cubicle, in your area, your space, or whatever the case may be, had an issue with that and voiced their opinion. It was pretty humorous. But it got back to middle management, how somebody was feeling, and you only told one or two people, so you know good and well who said it. So in that working environment, you felt a level of betrayal, right? And the next time that coworker asked you to go to lunch, you gracefully denied because you, sir, ma'am, can't trust their ass no more. You felt it if you've been gainfully employed in the United States. You felt that feeling in some point, some fashion. So we've got to understand that that level of betrayal kind of burns a little deep to where you don't want to open up to anybody else in the workplace, right? You felt as if you've been hurt. I can take it there on multiple levels tonight because trust issues, people have them, right? That's just a small snapshot of a small workplace environment. But watch this now. Dare I go deeper and talk about those family issues and that family secret that you were just holding deep inside because somebody told you over casual drinks and conversations with your kinfolks that somebody's really not your cousin or might be a kinfolk or cousin to you that you didn't know about. And that was supposed to be the family secrets. You weren't supposed to let that out or talk about that because that's not what we bring up around family. It's just supposed to be understood and quiet about that, right? Well, here's the thing. The thing about that is we have people who let that out the bag because it's juicy, good information, and they want to talk about it. They want people to know about it. But you told your cousin, you told your aunt, you told a family member, and they passed the word on because they couldn't hold it. And you, sir, man, felt betrayed by your own family. So now around family functions, you just don't want to show up. You don't want to be bothered with what they have to say because you feel as if your trust has been taken away and that value and that camaraderie and that confidentiality that you once had with said family member is no longer there. I know somebody's got to get this tonight. This is some real talk, man. I'm going to give you nothing else but the real. 847-47-iLife is the call-in number if you want to share some information on this or spit some game with me. But if not, I can sit back and do this all day. I got plenty of fresh water. I've got something to sip on as well. And this topic is kind of resonating in my spirit because I've seen it so frequently on multiple platforms. I'm going to dive off into this thing a little bit heavier. We talk about our money, levels of betrayal, and we're talking about money. Has anybody been brought to their attention about those money generating techniques, multi-level marketing, and dare I say pyramid scams, as they're often comfortable being referred to as? So somebody said, man, look, if you go ahead and drop me $200 in the next 2 weeks, I can turn around and make you $600. Or we can turn around and take this $600 and flip that and turn around and make you $1,800. And take that $1,800 and turn around and flip that and turn around and give you, $4,000. But you felt a bit of betrayal because you're giving somebody some cash one particular time. The boards, yes, the boards. Somebody gave you some money one particular time and it just didn't pan out. However much you gave them, you felt a level of betrayal. So you raised the caution flag and said, oh, whoa, we're not doing that. I'm going to back up. I don't want to invest, not necessarily my hard-earned money, but money that came from me that didn't come from somebody else, to say that I'm not going to continue to do this. Whoa, now you're touching my finances. You're going to blow that same money at the casino, but now that somebody else did it, you feel betrayed by them. Not the slot machine, not the poker table, yeah, not the blackjack table, but by your colleague and friend because you felt betrayed by them, even though you willingly offered up the cash. So I get it. Yeah, you got trust issues. You're going to have to clear that up and open up that thing in your heart to say, it's not always that bad. And think about this, folks. There are people out there who are awaiting levels of betrayal. They sit and fester in non-trusting situations, and they just expect people around them to do them dirty. They just have a nasty feeling about that. They live in negativity so often and so heavily that they can't see anything else outside of what's going on. So we talk about trust issues. Who has them and why? Why do you really have some trust issues? Dare I say, before I take a sip, you, sir, ma'am, are very, very overly protective. Let me have some fresh water with that one. Keep the body clean, keep the mind clean, keep yourself clean. So yeah, you're overly protective. Everything has to say guarded in here. You don't want anybody else to come in and take what's yours or hurt what's yours or get to know what's yours because you don't believe that people around you or entities around you will trust you, right? Or you can trust them. Have some bridges burned in bad relationships, and I'm going to start it small. I kind of scratch the surface and I'll dig a little deeper because I can do that. I want you to see it in these small levels because you know what? You dated somebody. You did. You dated someone and you expected that relationship to go a certain way, and it didn't really go the direction that you wanted to. Your heart was crushed. Your emotions were just shattered. Your belief in the good old fashioned prince riding in on his horse to save you from being in a lonely situation and being by yourself had changed. For the ladies and even for the men, you had your heart and your expectations set up for this beautiful thing to be yours and just yours. And she wanted to date more than just you, and it crushed you so bad that you felt as if now that you've given all your everything, that's right, everything, all your charge cards, all your bank accounts, all your jewelry, I got to keep all that because I don't want to go through that again. You felt the level of betrayal, and because of that, you want to keep everything in here. You want to keep it guarded to yourself because only you can hold that. If you don't let anybody else have it, you'll never be hurt again. That's a lie. That's a very uncomfortable way to live. Some people live in, and watch this now, some people live in, I'm gonna kind of go back, like way back here, kind of bring that thing up to the front, if you will, if I can do that, because there's a way people that want to keep theirs and they don't want anybody else to have it. They believe so much in what they have and they believe so much in what they're doing that if anybody else gets a touch of it or gets a glimpse of it, then they're going to take it from them automatically just because it's different and it's better. It shines a little bit brighter. It moves a little bit faster. It's a little bit more comfortable. You can take this back even further, 200-300 years ago, where people had their family separated from them, based on the way that their son looked or their daughter looked, and instead of wanting their child to be separated from them in the family, no, don't take that one. That one's special. He doesn't move as fast. You downplay him. Not as fast, not as bright, not as intelligent. Don't keep your eyes on this one. This one belongs to me. I gotta take extra special care of this child. I don't want them out there in the world. I don't want them involved in any kind of behavior away from my supervision. Because you've been hurt and you have trust issues. It's valid at times, but at the same time, if we live in fear and we keep ourselves overly protective, we don't allow ourselves to open up to anybody or anything, then sometimes those plants and those flowers just can't grow. Yeah, you got to hear me on this one tonight. This is some real spit. I'm only 20 minutes in, but I'm spitting some good stuff up in here, man. I know I am. I'm feeling it tonight, and I hope somebody else is getting some good insight out of this too. 847-47 iLife is the calling number. Get some of this, chime in, share this with a friend, uh, hit some love, hit some likes, tell somebody where we're on this platform so they can chime in and get some of this too, because people need to hear this. What's up to my family? Hey, Joy, how you doing? Hey, Amanda, what's going on? Good listening for y'all folks out there. What's up, AK? Hey, Dana, how you doing out there, ladies? Let's talk about this one tonight. Trust issues. Who has them and why? Right? If we're talking about those who really have some issues of trust, and we're talking about people who really just can't uh, come together, then when you have trust issues, you try to distance yourself from other people, right? You push back. You started this whole social distancing thing without even it being required in society. So you yourself found a way to say, I don't want to be bothered with them. You know, my guard is up, and I don't want to get in a position to where I'm feeling quote unquote a certain type of way that they're going to make me feel as if things are bad my way, in my direction, and I don't want to feel that. I don't want to go through those things to where I'm feeling as if, you know, if I get close to somebody and it begins to feel good, then you have that thought in the back of your mind, well, what if it goes bad? Well, what if it doesn't work out? So to save yourself some hurt and some anguish that you're already anticipating, you're just going to stay away from them altogether. It's kind of like the notion, if you don't fly in an airplane, you'll never be in a plane crash. It's keeping your distance. You don't want to feel like you're a part of that. It's unhealthy behavior. It's understandable, but staying so separated doesn't necessarily reflect, you know, being able to open up and to grow and to allow things to prosper within you and around you. Man, listen, there's so much good stuff around people, man, that you don't even want to deal with it. You have this negative mindset that says, I don't need to be around that. They're doing that over there, but they ain't on my level. Mm-hmm. You said it. You thought about it. I know you're feeling this tonight. I know somebody out there is feeling it because I'm telling you, as an empath, the vibes are going to come through, man. Energy doesn't stop moving. So I'm feeling this thing tonight. I'm feeling what's going on. It's real because, listen, it's not just about me. It's about the people that are here. It's about being able to talk and being able to relate on this platform and talk to folks where they really are. Yes, trust issues. Who has them? Why do people have them? Why are you so afraid to dig in and distance yourself from other people because you feel as if you're anticipating the hurt before it gets there, right? You're looking down all these social media threads. You're checking your Instagram and you're seeing how people are laughing at some of the makeup that they've been put on. Look, watch this, man. There's a guy, and you might be familiar with this dude. He's put out a few movies. He's done a few stage plays. He's dressed as a woman periodically. And most recently, he's helped people develop and put sitcoms together and has his own studio in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm talking about Tyler Perry. Now, you all know as well as I do, since the 90s and the early 2000s, Tyler Perry had that snuffleupagus body shape. The brother wasn't cut, he wasn't chiseled, he wasn't anywhere near athletic at all. But there's some photos circulating around that, dude is cut up now. He's been working out, he's been doing his thing, living a healthier life. He can afford to eat better food, probably not living out of his car, but living in the studio. He has a better platform to speak on, and he's taking better care of himself. Therefore, he took a picture of himself and kind of showed it full body. And man, you won't believe some of the negative connotation that was put out about this dude. Like, hey, Tyler Perry's looking like a whole snack, and like, nah, he still looked like a well-fit woman. And I mean, they just let them have all this stuff. Negativity, not good for your health, but man, just dropping bombs on the dude. But yet these same people invested in his stage plays and went out to see his performances and sat through the gospel music and watched some of his sitcoms. Like, you mad? You upset about that? The brother took care of himself and put himself in a better situation for his overall health. I guess he's over 50. So wouldn't you want to have better health? Wouldn't you want to look better and feel better? But the same people that put money in his pocket, and they say that they didn't, but yes, they did. You did. You bought something because you recognized the brother where he was on his platform. You knew what was going on. You know it. It turned around and just ran him a new one. And I say to myself, you wonder why people have trust issues coming out in the public and dealing with people, because they give so much negative connotation and want to tear others down. I mean, just like I had to sit my phone down. I was reading so much negativity. Like, Dad, you letting the brother have it, for whatever reason. Even if you're not happy for his success on your personal level, maybe you're not doing the same thing, but push it away, man. Just let it go. Let the brother do his thing. You, sir, ma'am, are having trust issues within yourself, because if you were at the same level, you would do it too. And you wonder why people distance themselves from that behavior, because they don't want that energy. Again, that negative energy is just so heavy. Not, hey, man, good job. You're doing a good job. You're looking healthy. I'm proud of you. What's next? Nah, just, still the same dude in the Madea dress. Madea just going to be thinner. Like, really? And you wonder about the mindset of people who live in that form of being overly protective and distancing themselves and just want to stay away from everybody else, that they don't even welcome transition or change in their own right. So you see people doing a little bit better, not how are you doing this and how can I get there and how can I obtain that myself, but it doesn't even look right on you. So you're still pushing people back and pushing people away because you just don't feel as if it's right for them to have it. Come on, man. There's so many different phrases people say for that. Get it together, take a chill pill, get your shit. What else do folks say when and things like that happen? It's just crazy thinking. You're constantly pushing people away from you and distancing yourselves because these are trust issues. These really are. These are trust issues within yourself, because they're doing better. They're doing something different when all you have to do is do the exact same thing, maybe in a different way, maybe on the level that you are at, and change the dynamic of your place. Because think about this. What if you yourself, right, were to open up and say, look, I've changed my diet. I'm drinking more water. My face isn't chubby as hell anymore. These clothes that I'm wearing, I got this COVID weight off. I'm able to fit those jeans I was wearing back in 2017. But now you just still wearing sweats and big ass baggy clothes because you have body shamed yourself in the snacking and eating and chips and popcorn and soda and drinking every day, that you haven't done one push-up, you haven't ran one lap, you haven't opened up your mind or your body to do anything else. So you just choose not to allow yourself to see change in yourself. So you distance yourself from other people. You're totally pushing yourself back. Come on now, folks. I know you got to hear this. This is being real. It's being 100. And that's where we're at right now. I'm feeling this tonight. Trust issues. Who has them and why? We're talking about that. So we're talking about there's a level of avoiding commitment, right? You're totally avoiding the commitment that you have with trusting yourself in the things that you want to do. What does that mean exactly? Why would you say that, AB? Well, first of all, what I'm saying is, if you have anything in your mind that says you want to move forward with something and you want to obtain a goal, Tyler Perry's pushing for his goal to change and lower his body weight, right? There's somebody out there that wants to start that business plan. And they're going to do the things and stay committed to moving forward to getting that done and seeing it through. but you're not trusting yourself to do it because I'll get to it later, or you know what, I ain't feeling it right now, or I'm a little tired, and you put it off and you put it off. You're not trusting yourself to move forward and make the change. So how can you, sir, ma'am, welcome something different into your life if you're not willing to have that commitment to move forward yourself? It's just not logical thinking. Again, you have that negative push on those same magnets that's not giving you that good energy, that's not giving you that good vibe, to where you need to receive that for yourself. You got some trust issues, man. You got to be able to break that up, crumble that thing up in little pieces, scatter it out, get it out of the way, and continue to push forward. You know how many times, man, you will see people go in and go bad on themselves, not just to be on themselves actually, but about the situation that they created, because they're not trusting themselves in that situation. hmm hmm I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it like this. Let me just kind of give you a small diaspora of what I mean by that. You have a level of commitment with making more money, right? There's a part of you that says, I've committed to this job. You've got your price. You're making your $50,000 a year, and you're just getting by with all the bills that you've incurred. So you're still living check to check. But you say that there's more in you, and you want to grow a little bit better, but you haven't made the commitment to grow your own personal career or learn a new trade or try to get some other education or trying to figure out some different crafts or even connect to other people. You get mad at the system and you blame the system. You don't trust the process of doing it. You get upset with the system. These motherfuckers ain't feeling me, right? They don't understand what's going on. They don't see my level of expertise, and they don't respect what I have going on. It's not them. It's you. If the entire corporation is not feeling you because you have a great idea and the company's not welcoming it, it's not them. It's you. Just be real with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Woo. Take a good look in the mirror, and in that workplace that working environment that you're in, have you made a commitment to have a different perspective on the game, right? Have you changed the dynamic of what you're wearing to work? Have you changed who you're connecting to in that workplace? Are you looking at somebody totally different because they were in a higher position than you are, and you don't want to find out a little bit more about what the next level or the next opportunity presents itself for? Can you do that? Can you grow yourself? Come on, man. This is real talk. I'm feeling this tonight. Uh, you've got money situations where you're trying to change and do other things, but you don't have it. And you say that if you could just make a few more dollars, you'll be in a better place. Then you have to do the right things to make that change, right? You got to play the game. If you want to play the game and grow, because this is a game, man. This game of life is a game. And if you're not making the time to play the game correctly, it's not going to happen. Somebody out there has got trust issues right now as we speak. The presidential election is going on again between Biden and Trump. Whatever. People are already doing this early voting, and now you want to tell me that it's necessary to vote for everybody else that doesn't get in? The popularity contest it is what it is. So are you really trusting the person that's about to be elected in office to do the right thing by you? Do you really trust that they're going to do this? And what if they don't? What if they don't? Somebody out there has made or is making a conscious decision without doing any research about the candidates. You're only going on the fluff that you're hearing, rather than making time to understand what the platform truly means and how it affects you. And if we have not done that, and if we have not fully understood the difference in the coding of the wordplay that's being put out there now, then it's really going to shock you when the results come and you put your hard-earned time to stand in line to vote for someone and you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. You just don't. Come on, folks, we gotta do this. You touch the ballot for your local officials and judges and law enforcement people. Have no idea who they are or what they plan to do in your community. Your whole sole focus was worrying about Biden and Trump, right? Because you didn't want to make the time to commit to learning about your own neighborhood. You didn't want to take the time to commit and learn about what that local official stands for. Are they going to tear down more apartment complexes and raise your rent all across the board, right? Are they going to increase property taxes so it costs more to live there, and what you're doing and where you're living is going to cost you more to be in that location, right? The kind of things that are going to go on in your neighborhood, is it going to drive the value down based on the census that was just put out? So now that they know who's living in those houses and who's occupying that space, now we know where to put these check cashing places, right? We know where to put these chicken shacks at. We know where not to put restaurants. We know where not to put law offices at. We know where not to put real estate offices at, because we're really concerned about Biden and Trump. We got trust issues with our local authority that we just overlook them altogether. We just don't want to commit to understanding who they are, but we want to focus on the things that we cannot touch and let that make more sense to us and stay lost. Ugh. Decisions. Y'all know it just like I do, man. This is some real. We got to address the real. We got to talk about the real. We got to keep it 100. And this is what we do here on the platform in the online happy hour. Have one more good sip, good people. Talk about this money. Talk about our family. Listen, you got commitment issues with your family because you yourself have gone through a few things that have hurt you in the past. You know, you can't look at yourself in the mirror. So it makes it that much more difficult for you to look at your son or your daughter in the face based on what you heard or what you've seen, right? What you've gone through. You don't want to face it. You got a commitment issue with yourself, not to face that issue. So now you can't trust people, and you don't want to trust them to make the best decisions for them based on the way that you've been living. This is true. Does it sound complex? I hope not. If you need to hear it, here it goes. Let's start with the ladies first. Man, this burns me to say this, but it has to be said. There's somebody out there whose grandmother, great grandmother, allowed her to go through some things, and her mother went through some things, and now you're catching the bulk of that generational curse because you did not break the chain, right? It was once said to me that a woman born between the years 1938 and 1968 will never apologize for anything. So that being said, she may have known that there was an entire family down the street, right? She knew her husband was stepping out on her. She knew that Benjamin had a whole nother family down the way, but she never said anything. And when he had to bring that other child home because she couldn't take care of him, you know, Miss Ann couldn't raise no more children, then Sarah was right there to cover that baby and nurture that baby and raise that baby as her own, because it came from her husband. So with that being said, you're going to bring that other child in here, and the same pattern that you begin to watch and see over and over again. You never said stop. You never said, I'm not going to take this. You never said you had to make a decision. You accepted it for what it was, right? And that thing you held on to for so long was passed down to your daughter, your daughter's daughter, and possibly even your great granddaughter. So that commitment that you held to say she'll learn, she'll deal with it on her own time, right? You're going to continue to let that thing come on down the chain. and not address it where you need to, because deep down inside you feel a certain way, but that trust issue and that commitment that you have to holding on to that pride, speaks a whole nother language. You're not willing to shake that level of commitment. You're not willing to do that change, man. You have to be able to make the effort to do that and say, hey, we don't keep doing this. It's got to stop right here, and I'm not going to take it no more. But you've allowed that thing to continue to happen, and look at the situation that you've passed down without even saying a word, without even allowing yourself to get away from that commitment of foolishness to say, yeah, okay, she's different. She needs to hear this. You're breaking your backs, folks. The ladies, you're hurting yourselves. Fellas, it's your turn to catch this reel. I'm going to put it out there for what it is. Because, yes, I let the ladies have it. It's part of it. But, men, we got to be accountable, too. We got to have that commitment in ourselves to say, you know what? I'm not taking this anymore. I'm not putting myself through this whole situation. If I walked away from I wasn't comfortable living here, and I didn't think I could channel the right resources and make this home a better place for this family that I created, and I'm going to walk away and start something new, then I have to have my level of commitment and trust and make the commitment in myself to say I can stay here and finish the family that I started. I have to be able to say, you know what, I need to man up. Yeah, you got to man up and say, this is mine. This is what I created. And by walking away from this situation, thinking that because you don't have enough money, or because you don't have enough gumption, or there's greener grass on the other side of the train tracks, you got to stay and make that thing happen. You have to have that level of commitment and trust yourself to know that you're making the right decision. If you lay down with it and you said that you're going to make this family, then have the commitment to stay and make it work. So what? She's crazy. You knew that going in. That's why you had both legs, TV antenna. The crazy kept you coming back. But you felt the crazy a different way simply because it was reactionary by the actions that you brought out. She was crazy freaky in the bedroom and you loved it. You did. Because she licked everything, she touched everything, and things were curling and twerking and moving because she was yours. You got inside that mindset, you planted that seed and you planted your flag, and she's yours. But now you begin to see that crazy take a whole different level, because now that level of responsibility that you had, or that you really aren't giving, has to come back out. Yeah, we got commitment issues. So the reason why we don't have trust issues with other people is because we're not trusting ourselves. You're not trusting yourself to make the right decision with this family. So what do you keep on doing? You keep going from household to household to household, right? Making this child and this child and this child. And you've got, 6 and 7 children out here that are pulling all of that check for that child support, because you got to commit to that one. You got to have a level of trust within yourself to say, hey, I'm going to make this work right here. And if I do want to have 4 and 5 different kids, I'm going to pull it from this one household and build me a family and build me a village right here, because you can do it. You're just having that level of trust issue that's hurting you from moving forward. It happens on both sides of the spectrum. So for all the ladies out there that think this is male bashing, get rid of that mindset. This is so beyond that negative connotation of he's just talking bad about the ladies. No, this is real talk up in here. You have to understand that what we're discussing here on the Online Happy Hour affects everybody on this platform in some way, shape, form, or fashion. If this has not affected you in any means, by any way, you got to keep on living. Maybe live to avoid it so it doesn't happen to you directly, but live to say, hey man, I'm starting to see what you're talking about, AB, and my cousin is going through it. My auntie's going through it, right? My whole family around me is going through it. You got to see this for what it is and be able to change your mindset about you so that those trust issues can turn it into more of a level of confidence. Spitting game up in here tonight, man. Let me have a little bit of water, because I got to touch on something else that's a little bit more deeper than what we're talking about. Hold that thought. Yeah. Comments are welcome. Criticism is welcome also. Drop some game, drop some information, hit some like, hit some loves, and let's talk about this tonight. We're talking about trust issues. Who has them and why? Something's going on right now on that presidential debate that you're probably hearing for the very first time, and it didn't make sense to you a few weeks ago, but now you're starting to think, oh, snap, do I need to change my mind about who I voted for? Because you're not quite sure if the person that you really voted for needs to be the person that you want to stay voting for right now. It may not be who you think it is. I said it. That's real. We have trust issues, folks. Who has them and why? Why do we have trust issues? That level of commitment. But watch this. You don't want to have any forgiveness in yourself, right? There's these small mistakes and these small issues that we have that build up to larger things in life, and we're not taking the accountability to necessarily address it, but at the same time forgive. Even if it's the smallest thing, right? Somebody may have hurt you in the freaking 5th grade and you've been holding that shit for the longest and you can't let it go, right? Again, we're talking about your money. We're talking about your family. We're talking about your workplace. We're talking about your significant other. It's all right there, right? I'm stuck on this right now only because I want to make sure that I say it the right way and then it gets addressed the right way when we're talking about forgiving. Because this forgiving thing is real. You're festering inside something and you're allowing yourself to stay hurt based on something that happened, when George Bush was president. You've been holding that thing in for so many years. Can't stand that motherfucker. Why? Man, they just be tripping. You don't even know why. You're just holding on to something. And you won't even trust yourself to open up to realize, what, that was whoever the issue was, or whatever the thing was. Be adults about it and let it go. Forgive and move on. You're not seeing yourself doing that. Somebody right now shorting themselves out of some money, man. You're shorting yourself out of some dollars because you're not trusting the process. You know good and well that you're talented enough to do this thing that you said that you could do. You believe that you could do with all your might, that you could make this happen. But somebody pissed you off in the workplace, and now I ain't doing that no more. Your whole world is shut down and shattered. Right? Happened to me at Grambling State. Let me tell y'all this. Let me tell y'all what happened. So I had big dreams of going NFL, going pro. And this was something that I planned on doing. I had set my goals out of high school that I was going to do this. Regardless if I got a scholarship and I was going to walk on, make the team. And I did just that. Made the team, Grambling State University. I was freaking nice, man. Played pretty good. I remember, playing for Coach Eddie Robinson in camps and clinics. Getting on to the real deal, my freshman year, I got a chance to be on the scout team, football team, and that year, my freshman year, 94, fall 94, the team was on their way to going undefeated, not only in SWAC but just overall. Phenomenal. We beat Steve McNair. First game of the year, we beat Alcorn. It was just a wonderful experience, wonderful college experience. And I wanted to be a part of that, right? I wanted to see myself doing this, run the ball behind a good friend of mine. And the plan was we can go to the NFL if we do it this way. And I'll never forget that level of commitment, that thing that I said that I was going to do, right? I didn't want to forgive this small mistake. So what happened was I'm actually running the play. Coach Rob said, hey, who else wants to run the play? And I mean, there's some guys who are older than me. They're faster than me. Jeff Nichols, Mike Checker. There's Norman Bradford. There's who else? Coach right now, Roger Fobbs. These guys are actually playing right now ahead of me, but I got John Blaze shit. I'm nice with it. So I actually got in there, ran the play, but Coach Rob didn't even know how to run the offense, but I got in there, I ran the play just based on skill. I did it, and I was told that, hey, you're not supposed to be here. Now, mind you, I shredded the whole first team defense. very, very, very eloquently. Just you could hear the violins playing in the background. Your boy was just gliding so smooth. But what happened was, I was told you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be over there with the scout team and not be at this level. And it festered in me and hurt me to the point to where I just totally lost my will and my drive to continue to play, because I know what kind of talent I had, and I let that small thing bother me. And it was just not to say that it was an issue that I had with myself, but I had an issue with the way that it was being coached at the time, and I never forgave. So it put me in a position where for many, many years, 20 some odd years later, you always wonder back and look what could have happened if. So that's I can definitely relate to somebody out there that's gone through something very similar. Not to say it's that you had a football experience, but you had a life experience that it didn't work out for you in the best positive way. So you walked away from that experience altogether. And there was that one thing, that one mistake that you held on to for so long that you would not forgive, to put you where you are today. And now you're kicking yourself because you have trust issues. You don't trust rather, that you can make it happen, and you allow that one thing to hold you back for so long. And in the back of your mind, you can't receive anything differently. Yeah, I'm spitting real tonight. 847-474-5433 is the calling number. Again, 847-474-5433 is the calling number to get some of this insight tonight. I'd love to hear from you. But if this isn't your night to call in and chime in, it's all good, man. Give me some insight on what you're hearing about the presidential debate. What you're hearing there. We can talk about that, because there's some serious trust issues right there. You know what's going on. Somebody is telling you right now that they're going to be able to change certain things. They're dodging certain questions. You want to hear them say it, but they're giving you so much action, horror, drama, suspense, that you're not getting what you need. And it makes it very difficult for you to trust somebody who's right there in your face. It says, I can't do it. What's going on? What's happening? That whining kicks in. You got to forgive those small things to open up that door. Right now, somebody's holding an issue or a grudge with a parent, right? You're holding an issue with one of your parents and you can't let it go. Maybe you didn't get that toy you wanted when you were 12 and 13 years old, right? I get it. It was just a rough Christmas on the pockets back then. Or maybe they promised to do something for you, or you found out that, maybe dad or mom wasn't your real parents, and you're still holding it. Even though they loved you and took care of you, you found out that they wasn't a real parent. It's a small thing. Yes, I get it's a big issue, but it's a small thing. You still got the love you wanted. You still got nurtured. You still turned out to be a great human being, but it was that small thing that you just couldn't let go of. So now you got trust issues, and you got to hold that thing, and you've been burned up internally. That's cancerous. That's causing you to hurt, that you just won't open up. You got trust issues, man. You got to recognize it for where it is and see this thing that you can make the change, and allow something to actually come out and change yourself, right? Before I continue, let me just let the people know that it's okay. Somebody has to hear this tonight. It just kind of resonated with me that this had to be said. It's okay for counseling, right? It's all right for some counseling, man. It's all right to get registered, go see a professional, an unbiased professional, meaning someone that does not know you personally, that doesn't have a specific interest in mind to give you one answer this way or one answer the other way. It's okay to talk to somebody about these situations. If it's burning up inside you, it has to come out. That means that thing that you're dealing with is bothering you to the point to where you're not able to function properly, mentally. Right now, that it has to make a difference. You got to see it for what it is, man. So I had to take a pause for just a minute to let that be known that it's okay. If you're employed, gainfully employed, and you do have insurance, reach out and see what your insurance plan offers. Find out what counseling, what counselors are available for you. What your insurance covers. It's necessary. Dig off into that thing and find a little bit more, and get some insight on that, because somebody out there needs a bit of counseling. You've got to open the door on this level of trust, man. You got to be able to see this for what it is. It's a problem, right? It's affecting your money. You don't want that. It's affecting your family and their future behaviors, because you don't want that thing to continue to happen. It's affecting your workplace and your work environment. You probably can't get anything done the way you want it to, the way people approach you in the job place, how they touch you. She's probably been harassed so many times at work that just a small touch on the shoulder, stems a mental sign that, oh my God, here comes a attempt for sexual harassment. Somebody's thinking that way. You're uncomfortable with touch in the workplace. Why do you think this should actually happen? People were there. You felt that way, right? It's not to say it's a bad thing. It's to say that it actually happens and you have to be aware of it. So open your eyes to some real stuff that's going on, man. Look, this game that we're playing in life, man, it's a whole lot bigger than what we think it is. And I'm only going to just, scratch this surface right now, because I need people to just wake up just a little bit, start to yawn before I fully just slap you across your freaking face and you missed this because you weren't really paying attention. So get some insight, man, get some truth, get some game, see a counselor. We're talking about trust issues tonight, right? Several signs that you've had trust issues. I think I mentioned betrayal, if you're just now tuning in. I mentioned about being overly protective, social distancing, really keeping yourself away from others. That's very, very huge. People are just kind of taking to this social distancing, and think about the mindset that creates, right? You're okay with being away from people, so interaction with human contact, keeping people at bay, keeping them in a distance. What that does, people, is it does more harm than good. And here's why. Because what tends to happen is you avoid so much human contact that what actually happens that becomes real, your level of reality is going to change so drastically that, because you're not involved with people on a regular basis, your idea and your thought process of what is real is going to get skewed. Okay? Because the illusion of what that television is telling you doesn't make that thing matter. It brings on an idea that if I just keep my distance and that's their problem and not yours, you tend to see this as something that can't be relative and it can't be real. You can't relate to what's going on. It's going to keep you in that box of not having any trust. And at the same time, when things begin to happen around you that are on your phone or on your videos or on different platforms, what you're going to begin to think is that is the truth. And you're going to tell yourself in your mindset that because you saw that and because you think that that's real, then yes, sir, ma'am, that thing that you think is real is so far from reality, and that is a true illusion. So the trust issues that you have and the things that you're beginning to take in mind that you think you're seeing aren't really real. You're changing your whole thought process based on an illusion, and that's not fair to you. That's not fair to society. That's not fair to what's really happening. And you need to kind of take control of that and see that thing for what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you to really open up your minds to some truth on this. Walk away from that social distancing thing and just continue to have personal interaction. You have to have that energy that's constantly moving and constantly flowing for you to understand what's really going on in life. We have to touch. We have to agree. We have to see and come together on things. If you avoid that altogether, then you're missing out on what's really happening in this world. And I'm here to tell you, man, you're really causing yourself more harm than good by dodging that altogether. Trust issues. Who has them? And why? If you continue to push, listen, let's get logical for just a quick second. If you begin to push back on everything and things begin to get distant from you, and you live a life that's okay with being separated, that level of comfort, what you have when you start to interact with people, is going to feel and be so foreign to you that you're not going to know how to receive it. So I'm encouraging you folks to just kind of connect to some people who are not only like-minded like you, but are opening up your mind to help you see things that you may not see right now, but allow it to make sense. Read some books, right? In your downtime. I know the television is there. I know the TV is calling you. I know it's that much more easier to watch a television, but than to read a book. I know it is. And the television gives you all these visuals. But think about this. What you're getting from the television is the creation and the illusion of what somebody else has already formulated. So your mind doesn't have to work. And I hear the phrase all the time, I want to shut my brain off. I want to shut my mind off. That's what's keeping you going. Stay creative. Keep your mind constantly thinking. You know, it's cool to rest it every now and then, but if you tell yourself, I want my mind to shut off, you allow more space and opportunity for subliminal messages to come in. And it's not what you want. It couldn't be further from the truth, right? Listen, man, people will tell you things to dodge you from realizing what's really going on so that you do not think for yourself. The worst thing that can happen in this society right now is if we as Americans or as people start to think for ourselves. When you give other people control about what's going on and you're not trusting your own intuition and you're not trusting your own mindset and you're not trusting your own train of thought, then things get worse, right? How great is it? Watch this now. We're talking about trust issues and who hasn't. How great is it that you can make your own decision, walk to your vehicle, right? Walk to your job, walk somewhere, pick up your own food, and put that thing into your body and feed yourself? Or would you rather get to a point to say, you know what, just go ahead and feed me. You give me what you think I should eat. You put me in the clothes that you think I should wear because I don't want to think anymore. I'm tired. My mind has shut down and I'm exhausted. Go ahead and dress me how you want me to dress. Go ahead and give me the food that you think I deserve to eat, right? Go ahead and put me in the vehicle that you think I should be riding in, that somebody else thinks you should be seen in. And go ahead and show me the images that you want me to receive rather than the information that I need to see for myself. It's not a level of convenience, people. This is where we begin to have trust issues because it's not logically seeing what's really real. And we're not giving ourselves the credit to open up our mind and see the truth for what it really is. If you've got trust issues, and sometimes you can't let go of those trust issues, it's because the truth is sitting back there and it's not computing, man. It's not registering. It's not making sense where you really are. So you have to just, wait a minute, hold on. Now I got to think. I need to open my mind up a little bit. You've got some trust issues right now in the way that you behave and the way that you're hearing right now with these presidential candidates. So you're listening for something for them to tell you it's going to make sense for you, right? Somebody out there is thinking that somebody who's not in their generation, somebody who's not in the position that they're in, somebody who doesn't even know you or know what you deal with, has your best interests at heart because they're here to help you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is about control. If we're talking about true trust issues, we're talking about issues of control. And if you're not opening up your mind to see that, then you're going to continue to have these trust issues because the reality of it is we're not allowing ourselves to see the truth for what it really is. Somebody right now is saying that my vote's not going to count, or that, my vote is going to count and what I put on this ballot is going to make a big difference. So do the people really have the power? Right? Can you trust that the people of America really have the power to justify who's going to be the next president? They don't know you. They don't understand who you are. But yet we're going to give them the power to say, yes, we can make a difference. Somebody right there is questioning that very statement. Well, we don't know. If I told you 2 + 2 is 7, you would look at me crazy because you can justify, no, that's wrong. I've been taught that all my life, but I can prove that that is wrong. Right? You have to be able to see this for what it is, folks, and see this on a better level, on a different level, and allow your mind to think. If we constantly let people think for us and tell us what to do, what to watch, what to wear, it's not going to keep us separated. The power is not going to be within self. It's going to be under those who want to control you. And that is just the reality of what it is. You have to see this, folks. You have to allow yourself to know that you have to trust issues that we have. They have to change. How do we change it? How do we change that? Well, let's talk about that. One, we can't be so wary of people. We can't be so wary of people that we get to the point to where this social distancing pushes people away from us. Right? You want to be able to open up and continue to read books. Continue to read books. Even in the classroom, ladies and gentlemen, we have to look at this. In the classroom, in the workplace environment, they give you tools, they give you things to read so that you can take the initiative to find out this information on your own. But if we're choosing rather to be told, and I asked this question before on different platforms, would you rather somebody just to tell you what's going on, or would you want to find out for yourself? Because how do you control the source? How do you trust the source? If you have these issues right now, right? If you have things that are going to say you feel betrayed, you feel like you're betrayed, and you want to be protective of what's yours. So if somebody brings to you new information and you've heard something before and it didn't quite register, you're gonna automatically push that away because you have trust issues to receive anything new outside of what you've already been told. That's not healthy. You're protecting everything and you want to keep everything in because you've been hurt by this person, you've been hurt in this relationship, you've been hurt by this employee, you've been hurt by this family member, that you want to keep everything inside, and you're not willing to open up your heart and your mind to receive from somebody new who could help you change your life for the better. Right? You've dodged that level of commitment because you told yourself you have trust issues within yourself that you can't do this thing on your own. So it's really shame on them for even giving you the opportunity. But you have to be able to trust yourself to know that, hey, this door is opening up. I need to be able to peek outside this thing and see what's out there and make a better educated decision on how I need to improve my life and my way of living, not only for myself, but for the next generation. Right? We have to be able to do that. And we have to be able to open up that door to say, I need to forgive those who have hurt me and forgive myself for holding in this pain so long that, yeah, I can receive it now. These trust issues have got to go. We have to be able to open this up. So if you're okay with counseling and you've told yourself that I can better myself and better my situation, then allow yourself to see that thing and open up that door. You can do that. Right? But you have to be able to trust people to give you the insight. What books are you going to be recommended to read? Are people telling you need to watch this program, or are they telling you need to read this book? Right? Where are we given the freedom of the mind? So if I'm trusting you to see or to receive for yourself, the anticipation that you're going to grow and going to learn something from it is going to increase your level of growth and opportunity so much more than receiving what somebody else had to say. A wise person once said, "He who controls the printed page controls the thinking of the age." What does that mean exactly? It means whoever wrote the script out and planned out this thing controls the way you receive it, controls the way it's perceived, right? They control the idea of when the villain finds out that they really know the truth, right? They find out when the scary part comes in the movie. They find out they know who's going to be killed and who's not going to be killed, and how they got that thing. You know, once you've seen a movie or you've seen a show so many different times, you kind of want to talk to the screen because you see it now and it starts to make sense. But now you wish you can go in there and make the changes, but you can't because you're not the one who wrote the script. This is somebody else's vision telling you what it should look like. And now you're having trust issues with yourself because you, sir, ma'am, can't avoid the commitment of moving forward. You've committed to seeing this thing over and over and over again, but it's going to be the same result if you don't open up your mind to receiving and changing with trust issues, right? What that does is it gives us a level of depression, and it has a psychological effect on people. When you're dealing with depression, you're in a shell and you won't allow yourself to open up. Man, you see it all the time. You've got people posting memes on social media. They're trying to hide behind their shells. They're trying to hide behind these walls. They don't trust folks. Have you seen, and this is psychological truth. People who are out here and they're posting on their platforms and they're not giving their own photo, right? You've seen it. If your profile picture is not yourself, then there's a level of trust, and it trust me, it is. It's been studied. It's a psychological mindset that says that there's a level of uncomfortability with who you are as a person that you're not even willing to show yourself on your own profile. So you have levels of trust with other people around you that's causing a level of depression. Social media is the key of this. There's this thing that's inside of us. If anybody has heard the term dopamine, well, dopamine is the rush that you get that's released out when having sex. Not the cum, not the sperm, not that. I'm talking about the feeling, that energy, that release of dopamine that's inside. So when people are getting likes on social media, when they're touching the hearts and they're getting the likes and they're getting the loves, when you constantly get that from somebody, it's like that's the rush that it's the same as having sex for them. It's the same rush that they get. So that when somebody posts something on social media and they don't get any likes on it, it tends to make them feel a certain way. It's not a trust thing. So guess what they're going to do? They're going to post something different. I need to receive this a different way. I need to call somebody else because I'm not getting that love from this person over here. I got to go get some love somewhere else. Let me post something different. Well, I've seen, listen, this is what we do. We pass memes, right? Somebody on this platform shared this meme and it got so many likes. Well, I want that same love and attention too, so I'm going to share that like myself. I'm going to share that to people that are on this platform because I want to be seen. I want that recognition. I'm going to trust to know that when I put this out there, that they're going to receive that from me, give me the likes, give me the love, give me the praise, give me the attention. And I'm going to have that same feeling that's generated while having sex because that's my rush. Look it up. Take a look at it online. You're getting some good game tonight and you're getting some good truth. So I want you all to understand this thing. We're talking about trust issues. Who has them? People who are depressed, man. They stay in their box. They stay in their mental cubicle. They don't want to get out. This pandemic has put people in such a mood that they haven't left their house in days, right? They're surviving based on what's on the internet and the unreality of the truth of what's out there, that they're not allowing themselves to trust anybody, anything, or anyone. So how do we get around that? Again, get around people. Open up that mindset to say that, man, it's a little bit different out here, and I have to have that energy. I have to have that contact. I have to have that level of survival out here that's going to be there. If you're with your spouse or your significant other, you have to talk to them. You have to open up that chain, man, and be able to say, this is better for me. You know, you said that you were going to lay with this person, man, woman, And if that's the one that you want to be with and you have to get through it, then that's the one that you're going to be with and commit to. Get that level of commitment, because that trust issue that you have is an internal thing. It's a mind thing. Listen, if it's not something that's causing any physical harm to you or any type of mental abuse, then if it's all just resting in your mind, then get out of your own way. But if there is some mental abuse, you have to be able to stand up for that and do what's necessary as far as seeking counseling on those levels. If there's physical abuse, you must do the same thing to make that change, because that's where some of these trust issues can really stem from. But if you're not taking the steps to get yourself out of that situation or make any type of change, then you're going to see those things continue to fester over and over again and be in that particular lifestyle. So you got trust issues with your spouse, right? You got trust issues with somebody that you're dating, and y'all are going back and forth and back and forth, and you're not seeing eye to eye, but you're still in a relationship, if you will. It just doesn't make sense. So what the hell are you doing? You're with somebody that you don't trust. You're spending time with someone that you're not comfortable with their working environment. You're not sure about how comfortable they are with making money. You're definitely not comfortable around being with their family. And listen, if the sex ain't where it needs to be, then you probably got trust issues telling yourself that they're either laying with somebody else, or they're not comfortable being with you, or maybe the fact that there's something going on with their body. You got to talk about these things. We have to get around other people, right? You don't want to just sit around and just kind of have these thoughts just circulating through your head on a regular basis and not being able to digest those things and get them out, because you're going to continue to put yourself in a downward spiral of emotions that is not going to benefit either one of you. So if you have a significant other and the sex isn't good, or you're not having it at all, and you got trust issues, open up your mouth, man. Both ways. Talk for a minute and then figure it out and please them. You have to be able to say something and do something to get a different result. Again, having that in your mind and having those trust issues, there's some women out there right now who are not going down on the man because they don't trust where he's been. You're going to have to talk about that. You're going to have to get over those things and deal with some counseling, deal with your significant other, and talk about that stuff. There's some guys right now that won't lay with their woman for whatever reason, and you got to talk about that. Talk about that with a counselor. Have some therapy. Try some toys, man. The Kama Sutra is a very, very helpful tool if anybody has not utilized that or tried that. So, it may be the standard old position if you're not, feeling a certain way, that you got to talk about this thing and try something new. Kiss some knees and touch some knees and grab some elbows and find some skin you ain't grabbed in the last, 4 or 5 months, but figure it out. You got to be able to do this thing for yourself, man. It's a healthy balance of good living and good lifestyle and good communication. It's a must. So that there's trust issues. Who has them, and why do we have those trust issues? So if you're having those problems in the bedroom, man, take that shit to the living room. And if it doesn't work in the living room, try it in the kitchen, or try it in the car, or go to a hotel, or figure it out. You have to talk about that and not assume the worst, because it could be something very simple to fix. If you're assuming, young lady, that every guy that you date is cheating on you, then figure out what that thing is with you that makes people want to cheat on you, if that's really happening. If there's a guy out there that feels as if, he can't trust his woman, then find out why you feel like that. Check yourself on those things. It's not going to be rocket science, folks, but it has to be some level of effort that we have to take place to say that this is what we're going to do. It's got to be there. Trust issues. Who has them and why? So I kind of want to, now before I wrap the show up, just kind of bring some attention to some things, to some viewpoints that are kind of going on out there. And we're talking about trust issues, right? There's some people out there who need to hear this. And we're not just talking about sex. We're not just talking about loneliness, but we're having a lot of self-esteem issues. Okay, you're having some problems with yourself because you're not trusting yourself to make the right decisions, and you're not trusting yourself to be better than where you are. You know, it's somebody out there that they're eating and they're nibbling a little bit too often. There's some people out there who have taken all the mirrors down in their home. They don't want to see themselves. They don't want to face their body. They don't trust themselves to make the right decisions about their nutrition, because that burger sure does taste good, right? That hot dog sure does taste good. That ice cream is really soothing. So you tend to run to your food, which is not giving you fuel for your body, and you're not trusting yourself to make the right decisions because you're living in that captivating hole of poor and low self-esteem. I'm encouraging somebody right now to get around good positive energy, whether it's a start on a YouTube channel like this platform here, and just type in positive energy and motivational thoughts. You can do that. You can talk about some of those things and get on and get away from it. And at the same time, I'm also encouraging ladies and gentlemen to be a little bit more cautious about how often they're putting these things in their body. Not necessarily to say that that you're eating bad just once or twice, but your frequency and what you're doing is kind of messing some things up. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's really all it is. We talked about Ice Cube last week, but we want to talk about some of the things that's being said about that, man. You gotta know there's a little bit of different element in there. That self-esteem is something not to play with, because we don't get to see the real you if you can't see the real you, and that's 100, man. So be encouraged, man. Be real about yourself. Be real about this program. Continue to hit the love and the likes on here, because we can do nothing but grow. Sometimes I may feel like, man, I don't want to talk about nothing tonight, or even want to be here tonight. But it's the fact of knowing that somebody out there needs to get this game and needs to get this insight. It's not what you think it is, nor will it ever be. And that's the great thing about having this platform here with the Online Happy Hour, giving you all some insight. We're going to have people chime in from time to time. It might just be me on the platform, but either way it goes, you're going to get some truth. You're going to get some real, you're going to get some game, and you're going to get it the best way, the way we need to receive it, the way that we best receive it, and the way that it makes sense for us to digest it and take it back to somebody else who may not know about this. So continue to share this link. Continue to pass this thing around like a joint, and let everybody be able to touch this, smoke this, pull this, and get this in. So I definitely want to thank you all for making time tonight. Without you, there is no show. But I definitely want to encourage somebody who's listening tonight to just do me a favor. Tune in next week and next Tuesday, a week before election. I got some research to do, man. I want to hit y'all with some good insight. I want to touch on some minds, open up some hearts, and really just pour on some good dialogue and dissect some things that are going on in our community, because, man, shit, we need it. And I'm, for one, encouraging everybody to get some of this, and let's just keep it 100, man. Keep it real. So, again, thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for giving it real. I want to say good night to my family. Go mob to my frat. And I'm gone. It's your main man, Andy Brown, right here, giving it to you live on the Online Happy Hour. Peace. Let's talk about it. I'm listening, baby.